Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here and welcome to another plugin knowledge session. In this session, we're going to continue on with the PSP InfiniStrip. Firstly, if you're new to my channel and new to my videos and you like what you see, please click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos. All right. Okay, so we've gained staged, all right? I'm happy with that. Now, my next step is not going to have anything to do with the PSP plugin at all, even though you could if you wanted to, right? So in theory, what I want to do now is do a rough mix. Now, okay, if I wanted to, I could have used this fader here to do my mixing, but I'm not going to do that because there's a good chance that I may remove this module. Not sure yet what I'm going to do there. We may leave it on our buses, but I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it on each track. It probably, I mean, you could. There's no reason why you can't. You've got the slot for it. But it just seems overkill. I don't know if I really need to see that. Now, like I said, I could use this mix. You know, I could put it here and I could mix my track with this plugin. But I'm not going to do that because that's just not the way I would do it. Even though I want to highlight the plugin, I still want to be practical in how I would mix this song. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a spot and I'm going to solo the drums. And we're going to start with the drums. So I'm going to pull that up there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to solo the drums that way. I'm actually going to solo the drums one at a time. All right, so we should get some sound now. So I'm just going to do a rough mix. I'm not going to talk too much. Right, I'm just going to find a bit of a tom run here and get that sort of dialed in. I'll make it a bit wider actually. Okay, let's find Tom 4. Okay, so let's say our drums are sort of brought in now. So let's move over to our bass and add something in there. So I'll just so I can see. Actually, what we might do first is let's go over to our bus here and let's gain stage our drums. Now, this is where the VCA comes in handy for me. So I can pull up this InfiniStrip, which is on the drum bus. So all the drums are going there. And we can have a look. It's actually not bad. From a level point of view, it's actually pretty good. It could actually maybe come up a notch. Let's have a look. Just close that. Okay, so what I can do with this VCA is I can push this up. Now, I don't know if I can get it in view. Let's have a look. Yes, I can. So what the VCA does, let me just drop that back, right? So the advantage of the VCA is that it actually pulls up all of the faders, okay? So I'm not adjusting the level of the bus itself. I'm adjusting all of the tracks feeding into the bus, okay? So that's how I'm gain staging it. So you see if I move this, it's moving the faders. But unfortunately, I have two here that are not set to the VCA. That's because I usually have them on a bus. But that should be fine. So I've undone that. So let's do that again. So if I move that up, you'll see all the faders go up or go down. And what I'm affecting is the actual signal going in. Now, the other way to do it, if you don't have VCAs, would be to select all your drum tracks and using the Q link, which you can also do holding the Shift and Alt key, you can just move all the faders. Okay, so if you don't have VCA capability in your version of Cubase, then just do that. Use the Q link, have all your drums selected, and use the faders. I just VCAs because I have the Pro version and I have it, so why not, you know? So let's do that again. Okay, I'm going to go with that level there. So it's looking good on the meters there. Now I can actually then also reset this, so I can go combine automation of VCA and link channels, and it will drop that to 0, but not move these faders. So I basically cleared my VCA while leaving my faders where they are. All right, so we've got the drum track locked in. Okay, so now let's get our bass. This is actually seeming pretty low. disappeared there. Might go there, and then again I can do the same thing. So we can also look at its bus. No, I've only got one base, right? So it should really matter. But you can see that it's actually low. So if we wanted to gain stage our bus there, we could actually boost that base there and drag it up. But what would happen then is that I would then, it sounds ridiculous, but if I boosted the bass here, then I would drop it here because mixing wise, I like the sound of it. But it all depends on, you know, how you want to do this, the gain staging. Do you want to be that accurate? So that's what I need to do to get it up to there. But that may change later on anyway. Let's just leave it with that. We'll see how we go. All right, so what do we want to bring in now? Let's have a look. Now we could go with guitars or we could drag in a pad. Let's drag in this pad. Let's do that one first, I think, just for the sake of it. I just want to see what it is. That's really loud. Okay, that's looking good. Now, here's the problem. If I was to do the same thing again with the gain staging, then basically you're going to be doing a lot of your mixing over here. But I guess if I kept true form, that's what I would do. Problem is I would have to then go and boost that, right? So, and I could do it again with the VCA. But I'd have to go all the way up to the top, so that's 6. So then I would have to drop this down by 6 dB. So combine that, and then I can get more. So we'll say another 3 dB. So I'd have to drop this again by another 3 dB. All right, and if you actually look at the pad, yeah, we've got it pretty loud, okay? We almost took it back up to where it was. The gain staging in buses works better when we talk about there being a lot more instruments. When you've only got one instrument going into that bus, then you're sort of, it's a bit of a weird concept because you're almost just doing the same gain staging. But anyway, let's have a look at the violin now. And then we'll check out our main part, which is actually our guitars. Now, these are not, let me just say, these are not real. They're actually synths, of course. You know, I don't have a real violin. Now, We know the same problem's going to happen here. If we go to our orchestra bus and we open our plugin up, we're going to have exactly the same problem. So even if we go up 6 dB, and we'll drop our bus down 6 dB, or roughly, that'll do. All right, we'll do a combine. Didn't turn read off. So I reckon we're going about 4. So let's drop this down about 4. So back down, so about 10 roughly. And we'll come back to that later. All right, so let's do the guitars now. So I'll keep ending up in that. All right, what do we want to do? Yeah, we've got 3 heavy parts here, or got a clean part here. We could start from the top, I guess. Guessing these need to be panned. All right, so we've got that one in. Now let's come back here and let's have a look at these dirty electrics. Now, I do have to say up front, and this is probably going to sound like an excuse, but because I'm recording this, I'm doing this with headphones as well. So when I do things that are pan left and right, they're very, it's not as good as it is doing it with monitors, studio monitors, and the headphones are not as accurate. So if I don't do this 100% accurate, there's a few reasons. One, I'm trying to go fairly fast for the recording, and 2 is I'm mixing with headphones. Okay, but it does sound like an excuse. And, I've got to accept that. Okay, so we have this other lead part, but it looks like it plays with it. So, because this is an instrumental, I know, because I did the music, that the lead parts here are basically not mimicking, but they're replacing vocals, all right? So they're going to be down the center, okay? Unless I've duplicated. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's find. So like you'll see here, we've got two parts here that look like they're duplicated. So there's a good chance that these might get panned or something. I don't know. We'll see. Might take it out a little bit. Now, one thing you can do, similar to what I was doing with the VCA, or the without VCAs, if I have two tracks that are duplicated here, have a look, get them fairly close to being balanced with the faders, get their levels balanced to each other, and then select both and do the Q-Link function, right? You can turn on Q-Link there if you want, or like I said, if you hold Shift and Alt together, see, it just turns the Q-Link on temporarily, and then you let go, it's off again, right? Or you can just manually turn it on. But just remember that it's on when you go to do other changes. So once I got the Q-Link on, then I can be actually adjusting the two together to the song. Right. Okay, now we've got another part here. I keep saving as I'm going, by the way. If you see that circle come up, that's me clicking on a button that I have pre-programmed on my mouse to do a save, because I'm an obsessive saver. Every time I do a change, I save. Right, so it looks like we've got another two that are together. So let's see what they're doing. Okay, so it seems that these two here are playing the same part as this one here. So we've got this one here in the middle. So if we assume that's the middle, these two here could be panned out either side. So you've got like a 3 guitar approach. Now what I'm going to do is, again, let's just have a look at the levels. Pretty even, maybe that was a touch Okay, let's leave it there for a moment. These will come out a little bit in the mix once we actually start doing stuff to it. So we've got one last track to sort of fit in. And okay, that was an effect I did. All right, I'm going to clear the solo now. So now we should have a pretty good idea of our song. Okay, so obviously keeping in mind that this is a rough mix and we've got bits like that, not in the drums, then the guitars there where you may decide to automate because it's playing by itself and I've got a pan left. We probably want to pan it to the center for that part. Okay, now what we need to do is actually start doing some stuff in the PSP InfiniStrip. But all we've done so far is gain staged and rough mixed.